Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Navin, and today I'll be taking you through how do you prepare LRDI section in the next 1 year, in the next 12 months. This is preferably for CAT 2023 students, students who are preparing for next year's CAT, which is 2023. So, as you guys may have come across a lot of videos of ours, also the last 2 years CAT paper analysis, you may have come across this particular thing that the faculties, the students, they all are very much tensed about, or they find it very difficult to actually crack or decode LRDA section. It's all because this is completely new to you. It includes English, it includes maths. It includes a lot of logic. So that's something that we are not very much versed with. When it comes to English, we have been doing it since ages, since we were kids. When it comes to maths, same thing. But the combo of that is something that we have not been doing so much. Also because it majorly consists of logic. So if I look at this year's paper, more than 75%, as in more than 3 out of 4 questions had to do with logic, right? So the calculation part was very, very minimal. So, Varun, so I'll give you a call, not today. Today it's very hectic. Tomorrow, okay? So drop me a text. I'll get in touch with you tomorrow. Okay, so what should be your mindset? How should you be preparing for the next 12 months, right? So first of all, let's understand what entirely the LRDI is, right? So LRDI, how much we need to score? So 2022, the results are not yet out, right? So I have not included that. So up to last year, that is 2021 CAT, how much score is required in order to get a certain percentile? Let's understand that. So once we understand what should be our target, then we will try to achieve it, and we will try to see how to achieve it. So in order to get a 99.5 percentile, which is a very, very decent percentile, so a 36 marks was required. A 36 marks would mean 12 correct questions, right? Without any mistakes. So 12 questions आपका काफी है. 12 questions would mean last year के according 2 sets of 6 questions each, or maybe 2 sets of as in 1 set of 6 questions, 1 set of 4 questions, and then another set half of that, right? Because in 2021 the sets had 4, 4, 6 and 6 questions, right? And it has not changed over the years. Actually, 2021 was relatively easier than 2020, because in 2020, out of 72, you needed 38 marks, right? Which was almost half. But here in 2021, you needed 36 marks out of 60 marks, which is way more than half. That's 60%, right? In order to get a 99 percentile, again, you really do not need a lot of differences there. एक number पे, you see, you change from 99 to above 99. So 35 questions will be approximately 12 questions, preferably 13 questions with 1 mistake, so that you get 35. For a 95 percentile, all you need was to do 9 questions. 9 questions would mean 2 sets. 12 questions would mean more than 2 sets, right? So 9 questions, 24.5 percentile, 24.5 marks with a 95 percentile is good enough. When it comes to 90 percentile, 40 questions, this is not 40, this is 20. So 20 marks is required, which is 7 questions. And 14 marks were required, which was 5 questions, right? So as you can see that if you do 2 sets, complete 2 sets, I shouldn't say 2 sets, I should rather say 10 questions. So if you are able to do 10 questions, you will get a very decent percentile. And 10 questions out of how many questions? 20 questions. So there are 20 questions in your LRDI section. So far, last year, this year, the year before last year. मतलब 50% questions कर लो. Make sure that you do not make mistakes on those. आधे ही कर रहे हैं, वो तो सही कर ले. and then you should not be worried about LRDI section. But why is that people are not able to get a 50% marks, as in they get a 99 percentile? 20 क्वेश्चन में 10 क्वेश्चन भी सही नहीं हो पाते, अटेम्प्ट ही कर रहे उतने, पर वो भी सही नहीं हो पाते, राइट? And you have 40 minutes. 40 minutes would mean 4 minutes per question. That would mean 20 minutes for a set. आप एक सेट को 20 मिनट्स में कर लो, आप बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो, पर 20 मिनट्स में भी नहीं हो पाते. People take a mindset in the exam that they will try to solve the first LRDI set, whether it is an LR or a DI, in the first 10 to 15 minutes. मैं बोल रहा हूँ नहीं, आप डबल कर लो, 20 कर लो, 20 minutes में करो. But still people are not able to do it. So what is the reason behind it? What is the cause? Okay, so we will look into that as well. So right now our target is 10 questions. ठीक है, ये अपन target लेके चलते हैं. वैसे this is the target only up to August के आसपास तक का, because for the actual exam our target will be 12 or more than 12 questions. Why to stop at just 10 questions, right? So our final target is going to be more than 12 or more than 12. अभी के लिए 10 questions का target है. So let's talk about the topics. So when it comes to data interpretation, these are the topics. These are almost, it covers all the topics that come under DI. Okay. The first one is tables. Then you have got bar graphs, you've got pie charts, line graphs, multigraphs, radar charts, scattered plots, DI using arithmetic, and then you do have miscellaneous ones. Miscellaneous would mean box and whisker, or let's say the sunburst. Okay, so there are going to be more types of charts, but those types of graphs are not very commonly seen, as in sunburst आज तक नहीं आया, ठीक है, box and whisker भी नहीं आया, but you never know, you may get those types of sets. So out of all of these, the DI, they have got some limited concept. Okay, there are specific types of calculations that are required, and the language is almost very close to each other. If it is a pure DI, if it involves logic, then it goes some other way. Okay, so if we talk about these types, they are very easy. यहाँ तक बहुत आसान होता है, easy. Okay, max you will get is moderate because of the type of calculation you may have to perform. Otherwise, the data given, whatever it is given, it's going to be very easy. These are little moderate to difficult. Reason being that they are not only going to use the numbers, but maybe a lot of logic. Okay. So, for example, this year, I think in slot 2 or 3. Okay. So, this year CAT 2022, there was one set about male and female of a particular age range that was given as bar graph with two different axes about male and female. The kind of graphs you may have seen before, right? So, लेकिन उसको decode करना आसान नहीं था. That was logic based DI, which involved only addition and subtraction. That's it. या तो आपको add करने थे दो values उधर से, या minus करने थे, या 3 values add करके कुछ minus करना था. So they become difficult because logic involved. This is involved. So when logic comes in, तो ये आसान नहीं रहता. Now, how to start preparing for DI? Now, you cannot pick up a DI set today itself if you haven't done before and start solving it. It's not possible. Okay, you may get, you will definitely get stuck in 1 or 2 questions. So if you really want to sail it through easily, the first step is you should finish off arithmetic. This is the part of QA, quantitative ability. Maths का part है जो आपको cover करना जरूरी है. Okay, arithmetic consists of percentage, it consists of ratio, and it consists of proportion. And when I say percentage, it involves successive percentage change, SICI, replacement. Ratio can also consider, would mean replacement. It would mean averages, allegation, adulteration, profit loss and discount, markup percentage. ये सारे terms आपको पता होने चाहिए exactly what those are. Okay. And proportion as to how variables or how values are related by looking at them without doing any calculation. देख के बताना. That is proportion and variation. So the first step is you should be very good with this. Unless until you're not good with this, starting DI will make no sense. आप बस उठा के solve करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, you will not even understand what this is all about. So unless until you're not done with this, don't pick up DI. Okay. The second step is, if you want to, be good in DI, is learn a lot of calculations and approximations. Learn as in not you have to mug it up, you have to practice a lot. Okay. So calculations and approximations आपके fingertips पे होने चाहिए. What kind of calculations, first of all? Fractions to decimal values and percentages to a certain value. For example, k by 2 से लेके आप k by 20 तक try कर सकते हो, where k is any natural number. Approximations as in two difficult values का division or their multiplication, because addition subtraction is not really that difficult, right? और time भी नहीं लगता हमें. But multiplication and division is not easy for us because we don't do such huge calculations in our regular life. तो ये आपको करना है. Approximations as in should be able to calculate percentages quick, should be able to figure out approximate ratio of 2 or 3 values. These all are very important. So the DI, the concepts are limited, the types of questions are limited. When we are dealing with graph wise, when it becomes logic wise, then it becomes unlimited. So there is no book, there can never be any book or any online material or any video that will cover each and every possible type of DI. If it is going to be, it's going to be a huge one. क्योंकि unlimited हो जाते हैं the moment reasoning is involved. Okay. Now, when it comes to LR, these are the topics जो होते हैं LR में. So in logical reasoning, you have got, I'm talking about LRDI का LR. Overall reasoning, it involves critical reasoning as well, which is part of verbal, right? So I'm talking only about logical and analytical reasoning. So we have got arrangements, linear, symmetrical. You have got puzzles based on matrices. You have got routing and scheduling, grouping and selection, games and tournaments, conditional logic, problems based on number gate, binary logic and connectivities, coding, decoding, crypt arithmetic, quantitative reasoning, arithmetic and algebra caselets, cubes ke questions, cubes and dice. If you are covering the entire LR. Direction sense, blood relations and Venn diagram 4 parameters. 4, 3, 4, 5, वो कितना भी हो सकता है. Now, out of these, the ones that are very important when it comes to CAT exam is going to be arrangements, puzzles, routing, grouping, games and tournament, conditional, problems, binary logic है थोड़ा कम, quantitative reasoning, cubes, not dice, and Venn diagram. So coding, decoding, crypt arithmetic, and direction sense and blood relations, these questions, they do not directly come in CAT. Maybe a part of it is involved, but these are non-CAT topics, omits, other management entrance exams. Out of these, obviously, if you have gone through this year's all the 3 slots, you will realize that people, there were questions, there were sets on these topics. So, ये सब आया था. इन सबसे questions आए थे, right? Now, the syllabus part of LR is again fixed like DI. but then the types of questions are unlimited. So no book, no session will ever cover it. But we try to, cover it as many varieties as possible. So how many varieties are there actually? Unlimited. How will you cover all of those? You can't. Until the end day of the exam, it doesn't matter if you have been preparing for the last 1 year, 2 years, or just 4 months. Until the last day of the exam, you will still come across sets while practicing, while revising, that you may have never seen before. That's what makes LR so difficult. And that's the reason why CAT gives you more of LR. First slot, CAT 2022, not a single DI, right? The other slots, exactly 1 DI out of 4. So it's not anymore LR DI, it's actually only reasoning LR. DI बोल देते हैं क्योंकि कभी कभी ग्राफ दे देते हैं. So DI थोड़ा सा रहता है. Now, how to, overcome the fear? What should be our schedule for the next 12 months? कैसे करना है हमें? So अभी चल रहा अपना दिसंबर शुरू है, ठीक है? So if you follow this, trust me, you will be able to score 35 to 42 marks in your actual CAT LRDI. पर ये फॉलो करना बहुत जरूरी है, ठीक है? फर्स्ट इज दिसंबर, राइट? अभी दिसंबर चल रहा है, दिसंबर 2022. So you will need, if you study properly as in on an average 20 hours a week. So Jan end tak. So December to Jan, you should cover the entire arithmetic first. This should be your target. Okay? And while you are finishing arithmetic, in the meantime, in the same duration, you should also start with arrangement and combination based questions. ये आपका baby steps होगा. For the next 2 months, solve as many questions as possible out of these arrangement and combination. As many means as many. सबसे ज्यादा questions arrangement के होते हैं किसी भी एग्जाम में, ठीक है? So in arrangement you will have linear, you will have symmetrical, you will have asymmetrical, skewed, you will have not exactly any pattern, not even asymmetrical, it's going to be certain random, ठीक है? तो इसके जितने varieties try करते जाओगे, you will come across more types. Okay, so target है जितना variety कर सकते हैं. तो ये करने हैं. कितने sets करने हैं? There is no limit. How much time you should be able to invest in a set? No limit. As in, you may take 3 days to solve one set. Okay? अभी बहुत time है हमारे पास. So your target is later on. अभी का target है whatever set you are picking up, you should be able to solve it. Whether you take 5 minutes to solve it, whether you take half an hour to solve it, or whether you are going to take 5 hours to solve it. पर उसको solve कर लेना है. The more you try to solve things, the more different ways you are trying to solve a particular set. And if you get answers, great. If you don't get answers, so you would know this is not how you should approach. Only after a certain number of hours, you are at a, you are at a dead end. You have no idea how to proceed. Then go ahead and look at the solution. And when you are looking at the solution, don't be worried about कि अरे solution देख लिया तो अब क्या करें? कोई problem नहीं है. Solution देख लिया, this is like a riddle, right? So if you know the answer, it's going to be good for you for the next set, next similar type of set. So arrangement and combination खत्म करना है. उसके बाद February से you will not take more than 2 months. So March, you are going to finish all the types of DI. सारे DI खत्म कर लेना. Okay? So DI is going to get done there. In the meantime, you are going to start learning about logic, okay, and rank-based questions. And obviously, every now and then solve another question of arrangement or combination, so that you are well versed with it, you revise them on a regular basis. So 2 months करने हैं फिर इनको. Now, once you are done with logic, understand logic. In the meantime, if you have joined BYJU'S comprehensive program, in your English, you will be covering your critical reasoning by that time. Okay. So from April 23 for the next, it doesn't require 2 months, so I'll include one more. So 2 महीने करके चलते. So May 23. So you will just continue practicing DI. February to March, you have to do as many varieties as possible. सारे graphs type होंगे, ठीक है? And जैसे क्लास में हम बता देते हैं, ये graph type से एक एक उठा के सारे करते हैं. So once you're done with it, so you have to solve similar types of questions, similar type of DI representation again and again, right? तो वो आप practice करोगे for the next 2 months. And when it comes to LR, you are going to pick up 2 very important topics, which is set theory and games and tournament. Most of you are going to hate it. They are not easy. But this is very important if you want to, one second. So if you want to capitalize on the time, and if you really do not want to leave out on some important topics at the end of the, your preparation, finish games and tournaments as soon as possible. ठीक है? अब games and tournament एक topic है. Set theory, still you may like it. Games and tournament people generally do not like it because it involves a lot of logic. There are no formulas as such. I mean, बहुत simple formulas है. ये आपको करने पड़ेंगे. Some of these sets that you will come across in games and tournament, you will take around 1.5 hours to solve, 1 hour to solve initially. When you redo it, you will obviously take less time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Third time only 10, 15, 20 minutes, right? Because practice, क्या practice करना है. Once you are there, what will happen is your mocks will start. Mock शुरू हो चुका होगा अप्रैल मई में. So when you are going to attempt a mock, you would already have an idea कि किस तरह के questions आते हैं. You will be able to attempt 1 or 2 sets at least. And remember, हमारा टारगेट ही 2 सेट्स का है और आप उतना अटेम्प्ट कर पाओगे अभी के अभी. नॉर्मली पीपल आर लाइक कि नो, यू नो व्हाट, आई विल फिनिश द एंटायर सिलेबस ऑफ LRDI, फिर मैं मॉक दूंगा. उनका कुछ नहीं होता. वो कहीं नहीं जाते मतलब उनको किसी अच्छे MBA कॉलेज में नहीं होता. सिंपल सी बात है गाइस. इफ यू आर थिंकिंग यू आर गोइंग टू कंप्लीट दिस सिलेबस एंड देन स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग राइटिंग द मॉक्स व्हिच आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्रिटिकल, this never happens for your competitive exams because this syllabus you will never complete. वो ना आप अपने आप को बस एक दिलासा दे रहे हो, झूठी दिलासा. You are just giving excuses to yourself कि you know what, syllabus is not yet over. How will I answer some questions? Who is asking you to answer every question? This is not your board exam. You have to answer only 50% of those, and that also in the actual CAT. Mind it. अभी तो आपको 50% भी नहीं करने हैं को solve. If you are able to solve 2 out of 5 questions, आपको अभी ही 98-99 percentile आना शुरू हो जाएगा मॉक्स में. That will give you a great confidence. So you know you have to increase to a bit, to a certain extent, to reach your 99 percentile or cross it, right? So baby steps लेने होते हैं. So ये कभी मत करना कि मैं सिलेबस कंप्लीट करूंगा या करूंगी and then I'm going to start writing mocks. Don't do that. So mocks will start somewhere around that duration, April to May. So you are not going to panic. So when you are writing the mock, it's not like you will get 4 sets. हम लोग वही देने वाले हैं until the next year notification is out if they're going to change the pattern. So 4 sets देंगे तो 4 में से आपको 2 attempt करने. इतने तक में ना, you may have covered everything. Not you may, you will definitely cover everything that will help you solve at least 2 sets out of those 4. Great, isn't it? Now, from June to August, so for the next 3 months, you are going to cover all other variants of LR, क्योंकि DI तो आप कर चुके होगे, ठीक है. DI पे ऐसे भी बहुत ज्यादा फोकस नहीं करना है. People focus on DI a lot and then they love doing it because आंसर आ रहे हैं, अब प्रैक्टिस खूब कर लिया, तो LR भूल जाते हैं. याद रखना, out of 4 questions, at least 3 questions are going to be LR, so your priority is LR. We are doing DI because एक क्वेश्चन, एक सेट तो आएगा ना DI का. So if it's going to be something that you know, एक सेट हो गया उधर ही solve. You may only have to get into 1 LR out of 3 remaining 3 sets, right? CAT exam की बात कर रहा हूँ. So August तक your target should be to finish your syllabus of LRDI. Then only September, October, November, 2.5 months, almost 3 months max, is when you will figure out a strategy to improve. The strategy depends from person to person. Strategy depends upon what your target is. Strategy depends upon whether you are working, where you are college going students, or whether you have passed out and you're staying at home doing nothing. So it depends from person to person, क्योंकि टाइम कितना किसके पास है उसके अकॉर्डिंग स्ट्रैटेजी डेवलप होती है, स्केड्यूल बनता है, टाइम टेबल बनता है, राइट. तो वो लास्ट 2.5 months इज ऑल अबाउट मैक्सिमाइजिंग योर स्कोर. ये बहुत जरूरी है. Of course, you can understand that along with these, so 2 months we were like 2 months is 60 days, and 60 days अगर हर दिन 2-3 घंटे भी पढ़ रहे, so it's enough. But you're not going to study only LRDI until August. You have quant to take care of, you have got general awareness to take care of, you have got VARC to take care of, right? The most important section. तो आपको के लिए यही नहीं करना है. So you can, kind of estimate as to how many hours of preparation on an average per week you require. So that should be your call. Nobody can tell you कि कितने hours चाहिए, because it's all about quality. It's not about quantity of or the duration. So today when I'm going to sit to solve LRDI sets, तो अभी मैं बैठ रहा हूँ suppose 1:30. So I'm not going to sit at 1:30 की 4:30 उठ जाऊंगा. ऐसे नहीं होती पढ़ाई, ठीक है. So I'm going to sit at 1:30 and my target is to solve 4 sets in one sitting, बिना उठे 4 sets करने. If I'm able to solve 4 sets in 2 hours or 1.5 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, 4 set होगा तब मैं उठूंगा. It's not about 4 घंटे होंगे तो उठूंगा, because when you limit your preparation or your study hourly wise, it doesn't work. If I have to go, or if I have to study, if I have to go somewhere, or if I have to study for my exam tomorrow or maybe on Monday, तो फिर time limit करना पड़ेगा, because I cannot spend 6 hours just solving LRDI, right? So I will be like, okay, fine, 4 set नहीं करेंगे, 2 करेंगे. So try still not to, capitalize, or not capitalize, to give yourself a fixed duration rather than it should be a fixed number of sets. Question arises, how many sets we need to do overall, finally. So beta, you need 250 plus sets. ये करने ही करने 250 plus sets. And out of these 250 plus sets, your target should be around 50 to 60 DI sets and सारे के सारे remaining LR. So DI के 10 variants मान लेते हैं, 10 varieties, and suppose there are 50 sets that you are going to do eventually. So each type के 5 करोगे. For the first, second, and maybe up to third, you are still learning. You may have to look into the solution. But same variant के once you are done with 3 sets, you know exactly कि यार हर बार तो वही हो रहा है, because that's what is going to happen. The language is going to be around that. So 50 to 60 DI sets के बाद you will be like, okay, fine, I know all the variants, सारे types, all the language types, and I have revised and practiced 5-6 questions, 5 to 6 sets of each type. So that will give you a good enough confidence. So DI का 50-60, I'm not saying it's enough, but I'm saying इतना चलेगा, ठीक है. Every time you come across a new DI set in a mock, वो भी करने हैं. And remaining should be LR sets. मतलब more than 200 sets is what you will have to do with LR. Why 200? क्योंकि LR के 100 टाइप्स हैं, 120 टाइप्स हैं, 200 टाइप्स हैं. So as you move towards, as in if you are able to solve the basic ones, और जैसे जैसे आप अपने आप को moderate या advanced लेके जाओगे, you will try to solve little more difficult sets. You will come across new concepts. You will come across a new way or new language used in an LR set. That never ends. Okay. For example, this year slot 1, the very first question. This year slot 1, the last question. This year slot 2, the third set. मैंने उस तरह के क्वेश्चंस, उस तरह के मतलब वेरी लूजली एसोसिएटेड आई हैव सीन देम. ओके, और मैं सालों से पढ़ा रहा हूं. ठीक है, और I've never come across the exact set before. So इतने साल पढ़ाने के बाद, solving hundreds of sets every year, still I come across sets that I've never seen. So you can understand the syllabus is unlimited. The types of questions is unlimited. Syllabus थोड़ा limited हो जाता है. Types of questions are unlimited. So you have to understand that if you have solved certain number of puzzles or sets, आपको बस ये करना है कि मेरे को समझ में आ जाना चाहिए how to apply the logic. So then what will happen? I will not care about किस topic से. I will not care about how much of data is there. All I have to do is, हाँ ठीक है, इस तरह का सेट है और इसको ऐसे सॉल्व करना चाहिए. ठीक है. सो ये आपका टारगेट है 250. और ये कब तक का है? आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ये अगस्त तक का. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिसंबर जनवरी में इतने कर लेना. सी देयर इज a little less than 365 days. तो मैं 350 days मान लेता हूं until your next CAT. ठीक है, 350 days हर दिन एक सेट करोगे, which is very difficult to do because you have to be very very consistent and patient. तब जाके 350 sets होंगे. And along with that you have to celebrate your birthdays and parties and weddings and anniversaries and study QA and study VARC. सब करना in 350 days में, right? So start as soon as possible. In the meantime, I'll look into if we have queries. Slot 2 couldn't solve any of the set except the DI set because I chose hard ones like the tree one. What can I do better if I want to improve for next year exam? So Aditya, see, why am I saying ki until August you have to finish these many sets? Because September, October, November, actually we start way before. It all depends how quickly you gain confidence in the LRDI section. So once we look into your mocks and the scores you are getting and what is your accuracy, that tells us immensely about where you are going wrong. So जब mock शुरू होता है ना, उसके बाद we build strategies. So strategy means how to choose the right set. For example, if you have if you watched yesterday's LRDI set discussion, LRDI discussion of first slot CAT 2022, I did last evening. So you will see that while solving the sets, I also discussed that why did I miss, why did I leave a particular set, why did I choose a particular set, and when I'm choosing a set, is it like कि मेरे को लग रहा है कि I will be able to solve it, or do I really know that I will be able to solve it, right? So selection of sets become very important. Same is true for your VARC, same is true for QA, same is true for every other competitive exams, not board exams, not college exams, competitive exams. So competitive exams में क्या होता है? It's not about solving all the questions because nobody can. पहला step. The sooner you realize it that nobody can solve all the questions, easier it gets. कि भाई ऐसा तो नहीं है कि I'm solving only 10 questions और वो सारे करके जा रहा है. नहीं, उससे भी नहीं हो रहा. इंडिया का बेस्ट माइंड भी सारे क्वेश्चंस नहीं कर सकता. There were 66 questions. No, not a single person ever can solve all 66 correct. Nobody can do that. I mean, people who are going to attempt all these 66 questions, they're also not going to get very decent marks. Maybe 1 out of a lakh. 100,000 में एक बंदे का शायद ऐसा हो कि 66 में से ज्यादा क्वेश्चन सही हो जाए if he attempts all the 66, but nobody does, nobody can ever do, right? That is the first step to understand the limitation. The next step is selection of the sets. So once you are done with 250 plus sets, don't you think by reading a 251st set, you will have an idea that you have seen this set before or not? Similar type. Because if you have seen a similar type or maybe the exact set before, you know how you solved it. You don't have to learn the methods. Trust me, when you practice so many, it naturally comes to your mind, you recall everything. Okay? And anyways, you will be doing revisions as well. Just going through the sets, trying to recall, try to remember how you solve those sets. So the moment you look at a particular set in the exam, you just read it or you look at the information given, you look at the graph given, you look at the representation given. शायद कभी-कभी set पढ़ने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं होती है. And you look at it and you're like, oh, I have done a set like this. Right? Then you know that this might be, it might be one of the sets that you should attempt. So selection of sets is very important. And how many sets do you need to select? 4 में से 2 करने हैं. That's it. So if you choose 2 sets, the ones that you have seen before, तो वो हो जाएगा. And it's not going to happen that you will come across an exam जहाँ पर 4 sets of LRDI are given and you have never seen any one of them. Well, that will only happen to those people who have never practiced. They are like कि चलो exam में ही सीधे face करेंगे. But if you are going to do this, most probably you may have seen all the 4 sets, right? जैसे if you have looked into, if you have gone through first lot का LRDI, which was I have seen, you know, all the 4 types before, but not exactly the same set. For example, the routes and networks wala tha, the metro stations and the trains traveling. So I have seen a very smaller version of it. In that particular question, I believe there were somewhere around 40-50 stations. Okay. So utne stations ka nahi dekha tha. Also, there was one set of token distribution. That token distribution we discussed in marathon, and I have already seen this. So people thought that that set was difficult, but when I solved, a lot of them texted me that they assumed that the set was difficult, but that was actually one of the easiest ones. Actually, it was the easiest one if you had started with a right approach. So August se, this is what you need to do. So you need to let go of the fear first of all. Then understand not everybody can solve all. Then don't worry about what is going to happen in the mocks or in the actual exam. Finish this part and automatically you will realize that you are able to solve 2 sets on a very regular basis. Okay? %85% accuracy across all sections was my actual accuracy. So Aditya, that's a very, very good accuracy. 85% is not easy. Not easy. Okay. Actually, my quant accuracy was 85% this year. 3 months preparation. I don't know why people say that 2 months, 3 months or 4 months of preparation is good enough. I mean, it's only good enough for those people who are very good with English, not just English comprehension part. They are in constant touch with maths, which I believe most of us are not, whether we are into an engineering college or not, whether we are working or not. Company में maths भी use कर रहे हो तो calculator use कर रहे हो, Excel use कर रहे हो, you have got softwares, right? You are not doing mental calculation ever. So I don't know why people say 2 or 3 months of preparation is good enough. It's only good enough for those people who are preparing for the 3rd or 4th time, not the people who are preparing it for the 1st or the 2nd time, as in writing the exam for the 1st or the 2nd time. 2 or 3 months or even 4 months. I don't think 4 months थोड़ा kind of चलेगा, but English you can't really cover, as in RC you really can't cover in that. Quant and LRDI you may be able to, assuming that you are solving 2-3 sets every day, so you cross 250 sets and you are solving quant as well. So 1 year preparation is good enough. Why? Because it gives you a lot of cushion, as in if you don't want to study for 1 week because you're going out or because you have got some other commitments, you can skip your study for 1 week, right? And then you can cover it later. But when you have only 4 or 3 months of preparation, you really do not have that much of cushion or time that you can give up. You have to be very consistent, and it's very difficult to be consistent for 4 consecutive months. We're not used to it anymore, right? Bad enough for my 3-month preparation, right? Bhavya, so this year I got 1 set fully correct. We'll give it next year too. So will this time? Yes, Bhavya, same strategy as that of Aditya. Same. Har and Vijay, I'll give you a call tomorrow. ठीक है, वो बात करनी है. So this is common, right? आपको ना IFT के लिए how to prepare past papers is enough. जिन्हें past papers is not enough, or it may be enough for some of the people. So what you do, Jinay, is you solve one past year paper, not the last year itself. 3-4 साल पहले का कर लो. Along with that, give 1 mock. So what will happen is, looking at one of the past year papers, you will have an idea as to what was the level of the question. Then when you write the mock, you can see that to what extent you can go in the exam, because it's all about speed and accuracy. IFT. बहुत जल्दी solve करना होता है और बहुत accurately करना होता है, right? So after you have written the mocks, and once you get the score, you will have an idea as to what more you need to study, where you are lacking. Maybe your DI, you are not doing enough DI, you are not fast enough. Maybe you thought that LR was going to be easy, but some of them are lengthy. मतलब कुछ भी होगा, it depends from person to person, right? So you have to overcome those shortcomings. For example, DI, you are making mistakes. Approximation doesn't work, so every time you're solving it, so it is slowing you down. So start doing approximations. Get a hang of it. Be a little more confident while doing approximations. ठीक है? देखो, कुछ लोग ना एकदम ऐसे कॉन्फिडेंस में झूठ बोल देते हैं. कुछ लोग झूठ बोलते हुए थोड़ा डरते हैं. Approximation is the first type of people. Confidence में झूठ बोल देते हैं, and it turns out कि वो सच निकल जाता है. So they have to be confident initially to be like 793. Let's take this as 800. This is wrong. 793 is not 800. But they like it. करके देखते हैं ना क्या होता है. So you have to do that. Okay. Depending upon how good or bad you are performing in verbal, how good or bad you are performing in quant DI, how much good or bad you are performing in LR, reasoning part. तो आपको accordingly करना पड़ेगा. And every time you study somewhat, write the next mock. Write the next mock. Now, once you realize that you are very close, not crossed the cutoff or whatever your target is, not crossed it, but you are close to it, then go and write last year's IFT, 2 साल पहले का, 3 साल पहले का, अब जाके फिर से दो, because the score in those previous year papers will give you a very, very, accurate idea as to where you are standing. Because the mocks may or may not be very close to IFT, any mocks, right? We can say it's going to be closest to IFT. We can't say this is exact standard as IFT, क्योंकि IFT का exact standard तो केवल IFT ही दे सकता है ना, हम तो नहीं दे सकते, कोई नहीं दे सकता. We can get closest to it, right? Topic wise करना चाहिए LRD and VRC or else past papers and mocks. LRD and VRC or past papers and mocks. Jinay, I assume that you prepared for CAT, so you do not have to actually go through topic wise. Your target is only practicing right now. आपको जितनी बॉडी बनानी थी, आपको जितने डंबल्स उठाने थे, आपको जितना सिटअप्स, रेप्स, जितने भी रेप्स करने थे, आपने सारे कर लिए, राइट? नाउ अभी आपको जाना है बॉडी बिल्डिंग शो में. So for that, you will have to lose a bit of carb. You have to do regular gym, right? In the morning, in the evening, you have to eat properly. You need to tone your body a little bit. थोड़ा सा उस पे cream लगाना है so that it shines, and that's all you need to do. अभी, if I'm not assuming that in a month's time you have got your bodybuilding competition and today you're going to start with the gym. I'm assuming you have been gymming for the last 20 years. In other words, I'm assuming that you already prepared for CAT well enough so that you don't have to revise things. All you have to do is improve, get more accurate. Okay? So I was talking to Ranvijay. So Ranvijay, it happens, right? So I believe you may have done good enough number of sets. आपको एग्जाम में बस सही वाला सेट सेलेक्ट करना था. So you missed that part. So strategy part is where you missed. ठीक है. Same is true for your VARC. VARC में also the score wasn't good as far as I remember, right? So if you have crossed double digit in your VARC, तो वो थोड़ा एक देता है ना कि हाँ चलो, you will score 30 plus, you will have a 36 marks, you will have 38, 39. LRDI, I believe it was good enough. It isn't bad, okay? The number of questions that you have solved. It could have been improved by 1 or 2 more questions, but it's not bad. QA is again थोड़ा गड़बड़ है. थोड़ा double digit cross करना चाहिए था. Again, 11, 12 questions होने चाहिए थे. But you know what? I believe, as far as I remember, this was your third slot, right? The third slot was the most difficult slot. So you can expect a good scale up, right? Because it was a third slot. No, Ranvijay, I'm not going to take decision making, but decision making session is going to be there. So tune into the YT. ठीक है? Chalo, thank you everyone. So Jinay, what you can do is this one is YT ka. Hold on. So getting 81% quant, 23 DLR, 14 VRC 7. Should I repeat? 81 percentile. Sanvi, are you talking about those are the marks, right? I hope those are the marks, not percentile, because you won't get 81 then. So Sanvi, you need to repeat, and your target is going to be not study a lot on quant. Keep on studying quant. Don't devote a lot of time. क्योंकि इस बार केवल quant कर लिया, VRC पे ध्यान नहीं दिया, right? So start doing VA and RC and a bit of DILR. So you have to kind of double your score in LRDI, and you have to kind of 5 or 6 times your VRC score. 5 to 6 times is a huge. You got VRC in 7 because आपने बहुत attempt करे और बहुत गलत हुए. तो the problem is not attempting, the problem is the efficiency, the accuracy. मतलब मैं 10 ही करूंगा पर 10 में से मेरे को 8-9 ही सही करने हैं, पर आपने 10 करे, आपके 2-3 ही सही हुए. ऐसा हुआ है आपके साथ. ठीक है? So please do repeat, okay? क्योंकि इतने पे इस बार भी कुछ अच्छा कॉलेज नहीं मिलेगा, तो अगले बार make it better. 81 को within the mocks try to reach 90, 95. So that in the actual CAT you reach 97, 98. So it generally happens, not always, that your CAT percentile is actually going to be better than your mock percentile, because mocks में आप वैसा fight नहीं कर रहे होते जितना आप actual exam में करते हो. So people tend to be a little more accurate sometimes, or they end up solving more questions. So in either case, थोड़ा सा better हो जाता है. And also the sample size is huge. You write any mock, the sample size is 20,000 students, 30,000 students, 40,000 students. But 40,000 is not same as 2 lakh, right? ठीक है. So that's all from my side. Jinay, I am not able to type in my contact number here, okay? Because I'm on a different tab, okay, wherein I can't type. So you drop in a text, so drop in a message on the chat of the of this video, then I will DM you my number. Okay. So that's all for today. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And people who are targeting the coming year CAT, we have a comprehensive program for you. You will be given a tablet where you will get 300 plus engaging videos. You will have more than 135 live sessions for your as a classroom program. It's not exactly classroom, it's online classroom. You get 70 plus mocks, including CAT as well as non-CAT. You will get around 10,000 questions for practice. You will be given recorded lectures, a lot of them being related to the analysis of the paper, the discussion of the papers, the discussion about the colleges, the discussion about the strategy. So all these are there apart from your live classes and recorded lectures. Then you get your books for each of the 3 sections of CAT. Then you get GDPI and VAT preparation help from us. You will get recorded sessions, and some of them are going to be live as well. Not some of them, apart from them. Study notes and previous year CAT questions will be given to you. Not just CAT, actually, the other exams as well. So if you're targeting the next year CAT 2023, please do make sure to get in touch with one of our counselors so that they can help you strategize as to when you should join and how much of time is required. And 3 days ago, we started with our last lab to snap an IFT. It happens every day at 7 p.m. Make sure that you tune in and definitely watch, because we are covering all the entire syllabus of this in these 10 days. XAT 2023 All India Open Mock. This is important. This is going to happen from 14 December to 23rd December. Okay. So just like your All India Open CAT, we have got XAT mock. So if you write this mock, you will have a very good idea as to where you stand, not just among the BYJU'S students, but also beyond BYJU'S students. So all the students, most of the students are going to write the exam, and please understand, a lot of students are now going to write this exam क्योंकि सबका CAT बहुत अच्छा नहीं गया. So a lot of people they have fallen back on IFT and MAT, SNAP, XAT. They are like कि CAT तो नहीं गया, इन 4 में से अब try करना है. So they are going to write this exam very seriously. So your score is going to reflect a very good actual score or percentile that you are going to get in your XAT. Okay. So video solutions will be given. You will identify your exam strategy and you will know your strengths and weaknesses. And today at 2:30, in the next half an hour, please make sure that you have your lunch. My CAT 2023 discussion is going to happen here, right here on YouTube. So it's going to be taken by Mr. Srinivas. So it's going to discuss about the strategy, the pattern, what should be the, as in which section should be given more importance, how you can improve your score. So if you are targeting my CAT, make sure that you do attend this 2:30 session. Okay. And please subscribe and like this video. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And if you have any doubts, please do join our Telegram channel, which is BYJU'S MBA Doubts. And you can download our app. The link is given in the description below from Google Play. Well, thank you. That's all from my side today. Take care. Bye-bye.